Well, folks, it's been nearly 20 years, but one of the greatest RPGs ever made is back with a bang. Oblivion has been totally remastered, and it was shadow dropped by Bethesda this week. And we've got a ton of new gameplay mechanics, vastly improved visuals, smoother combat, an updated leveling system, sprinting, and that same strange magical charm we all fell in love with all those years ago. But the main question is this remaster just nostalgia, or does it truly hold up in today's gaming era? Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and find out. Now, before we had these heavy hitters like Skyrim, and before we had another one like The Witcher 3, we had Oblivion, a weird, beautiful, yet sometimes broken masterpiece that defined a generation of RPGs, whether you were chasing Daedric artifacts, or just getting this guy to run off a cliff. Oblivion had a sort of strange magic about it that got us all hooked. It didn't care about being absolutely perfect, it just wanted you to get lost in it, and that we did. From stepping out of those sewers for the first time to accidentally starting a fight with the town guard, Oblivion was raw, goofy, and epic, and totally unforgettable. So when I heard it was getting a remaster, my main concern was, could they really bring it back without losing what made it so special all those years ago? So what does the game look like in 2025? Now, just for a reference, I've been playing this on the Xbox Series X, and it was all captured on there. Now, to be honest, the glow up is real, folks. Textures are sharper, lighting's more dynamic, Cyrodiil really feels like the lush living world it always tried to be. So, by definition, a remaster tends to involve making a game look and feel more modern on current generation platforms. Whereas a total remake, a la Resident Evil for example, are expected to look as good or better than anything else on the market, as it's basically started from scratch. And Oblivion falls into the remaster category, at least for the most part. I can say for me, it looks great, plays great, and performs great. I've yet to have any performance issues, the load times are shorter, animations feel smoother, movement and combat just feels a little bit more responsive. Oh, and you can finally fucking sprint in the game. So, what exactly is new in this Oblivion remaster? Well, considering the original Oblivion is almost 20 years old, which makes me feel really old by the way, this remaster goes beyond just a few graphical enhancements. Like, they've really put a lot of work into modernizing this amazing game. So, in terms of visuals, it's had a graphical overhaul built entirely using Unreal Engine 5. There are completely new character models, new enemy models, new dynamic lighting systems, new spell and magic animations, amongst other things. They've also overhauled the menus, the user interface and gameplay, added shortcuts, updated user progression, deepened the character creation, and they've added more icons to the map. So they've been pretty damn busy. And speaking of character creation, actually, you can still create some proper nightmare-fueled characters. Just go on Reddit to have a look at them. They're a right laugh. But here's an example. But anyway, on top of those visuals and graphical improvements, there are also some gameplay changes as well. Oh, and one more good thing actually. Load times are faster, like much faster. You won't have to wait 5 minutes to pop into a cave full of mud crabs or head into a building to see what good loot there is. It's more in line with other Bethesda games now, which is definitely a nice surprise, though there are still a lot of loading screens, as you'd expect from a Bethesda game, but they're definitely quicker, and that's the most important thing for me. Now let me start with what works well, because in all honesty, most of it does. I'm not just talking about the visuals. Like, the world of Cyrodiil looks exactly how I remember it from all those years ago, but genuinely, it really does look fantastic. They've absolutely nailed the graphical improvement in my opinion. The forests feel more alive, the Imperial City looks majestic, and the dungeons don't really feel like copy-pasted stone mazes anymore. Take the tutorial dungeon for example. That benefits vastly from enhanced lighting and textures, and I'm sure you've got a beefy PC as well. You can twiddle and tweak the graphical settings more than I can on my Xbox to make it look even better. On top of that, magic visuals look better than ever. So fireballs cast a warm glow, for example. The weather effects feel more realistic, they look better. The landscapes show off a proper fantasy environment, one that you'll all remember, or what you thought you remembered anyway. Obviously, using Unreal Engine 5 has worked an absolute treat to build these more immersive environments. And on top of that, you've got revamped enemies and flora, adding to the atmosphere as well. The combat is still classic Elder Scrolls, especially compared to Skyrim, but the animations feel less clunky, and there is way less of that sort of awkward stiff arm swinging from the original version. And enemies react better to you hitting them, and they look better attacking you in all honesty as well. Even the other NPCs have had a decent glow up, so whilst they still feel a little bit dated and slightly weird and horrifying, overall they've been improved. Animations are smoother, the models are more realistic, and the lip syncing seems to be on point for the most part as well. Some of the characters have also had brand new voiceovers done, which is a great bonus, but don't expect the best NPC animations that you've ever seen, because you won't be getting it here, but at the same time, it definitely preserves Oblivion's quirky charm without turning them all into catwalk models. Oh, and one more good thing actually, load times are faster, like much faster. You won't have to wait 5 minutes to pop into a cave full of mud crabs or head into a building to see what good loot there is. It's more in line with other Bethesda games now, which is definitely a nice surprise, though there are still a lot of loading screens, as you'd expect from a Bethesda game, but they're definitely quicker, and that's the most important thing for me. It's not all 100% sunshine and rainbows in this remaster because, as I mentioned, some of that classic Oblivion jank is still there, mainly with NPC animations, so whilst yes, they have been improved, sometimes they feel just a touch robotic and they still stare at you like they're possessed. The dialogue AI can deliver some questionable moments. Like, I'm all for nostalgia, but when there's a beggar who's asking me for coin or telling me about some political corruption going on while also sounding like a noble, it's a tad odd, but it's a really, really minor issue, so it's nothing big, basically. The UI, again, whilst it has been improved, still could be a little bit cleaner and a bit less, clunky, especially if you're coming from, say, Skyrim or Starfield. But overall, it does a decent job of bringing it up into the modern day. And I don't know if it's just because I'm playing on the Xbox, but every once in a while, whilst moving or in combat, my screen jerked just a little bit. Only very briefly, but it did happen. Other than that, the performance has been fantastic, to be completely honest with you. But the main thing you want to know is the Oblivion Remaster worth your time in 2025, nearly 20 years after its original release? Yes. Yes, it is. It's not perfect and it's not without its flaws, though they are only really minor flaws if I'm being totally honest. And it still has some of the mid-2000s weirdness, like wears it like a badge of honor. But that's part of its soul, wouldn't you say? So now, nearly 2 decades later, it absolutely looks like the epic RPG you'll always remember it as being. If you have ever played Oblivion before, this remaster is almost like a love letter, a trip back in time into those long nights getting lost in Daedric quests or angering guards and whatnot. And if you're watching this and you've never played Oblivion before, well, folks, if you fall into that category, this is your chance to experience one of the most ambitious and, in all honesty, one of the best RPGs ever made, with brand new stunning visuals and excellent combat improvements. In all honesty, Oblivion's remaster is one of the best graphical leaps I've ever seen in a remaster. It really does blow your mind when you realise that this game originally came out in 2006. It is priced at $50 or 50 quid, but it beats every other remaster I've seen, and if you're a Game Pass subscriber like myself, then why haven't downloaded it already? Because it comes out on there for free, minus the monthly cost of a Game Pass, of course. But anyway, now you've heard my opinion on the remaster, I want to hear from you folks. What do you think of this remaster? Did Bethesda do it justice? Or do you think they could have gone even further? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're deciding to jump right on back into Oblivion, make sure you subscribe to my channel because I'll be covering it in immense detail over the next few weeks and months. And finally, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you are still here, it would be totally awesome if you could support my channel by hitting those like and subscribe buttons. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you in my next one.